Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and place to be, it's Deb C. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Deb C. Hey guys, happy Saturday. I hope everybody is having a wonderful weekend so far and had a great day. As you can tell, I went and I got my hair refreshed, and I said, hey, let's go for a fashion color. I picked blue, so here it is. I got my blue on, I got my blue in my hair, and we're supporting the Pittsburgh Penguins because they are back in Stanley Cup playoffs after a 4-year absence. Come on, let's bring the cup back to the Berg. Lord Stanley, Lord Stanley, bring me the brandy. Indeed. Okay, let's get right to it. We're going to talk about the Ladies of London, the new reign. It's the latest episode, season 4, episode 8. It's titled Bad Manners, MANORS, because the ladies and gentlemen are going to be visiting Emma at her home at Longleat. And right off the bat, I can tell you what I absolutely love. I absolutely love that none of the women have any glam squads that are putting them together. It's just them headed out in 2 cars for 3 hours to Longleat. Longleat has 7 cottages. They look adorable, and they also have a safari park. And Micah is in charge of getting everybody to Longleat. Micah looks elegant, just beautiful. Love her outfit, from her hat to her dress to her shoes. I love it all. Okay, in car 1, there's 2 cars. In car 1, we have Kimmy, Mark, Micah, and Lottie. And of course, Kimmy has to bring her own bag of wine. And then the second car, we have the M's, and that is Missy, Margot, and Martha. So going there, like I said, it's a 3-hour drive. Mark and Lottie are talking, and Mark is struggling with seeing Margot today at Longleat because he's just not a fan of people who don't have a sense of humor and who can dish it out but can't really take it. He feels like Margot is just too emotional. And if she doesn't like what he's saying about her clothes, then maybe she should just change what she's wearing. And Mark does say that the best thing somebody can do is to give you a compliment to your face, even if it's not true. If somebody gives him a compliment, like I said, even if it's not true, it's like the best part of his day. Listen, to me, that's fake. I mean, it's fake. He's fake because he's giving this compliment and then he's immediately turning around and he's saying something negative about her. That's fake. Over there, it's considered polite. We consider it fake. And this is absolutely a culture clash. It's American humor versus British humor. It's all very different. And it does take getting used to. He's convinced that like it's all humor. It's all about humor. It's all about humor. But at the heart of this, it's the backstabbing, the talking about someone behind their back. I think that's crummy. I mean, as much as he wants to say it's about a sense of humor, I really think it's about the backstabbing. I think that's shitty. And Martha, in their car, Martha's like, listen, Margot, you can either escalate it or de-escalate it. Like, don't give them what they want and everything will be fine. But Martha feels like Margot is already saying like, listen, don't be mad at me because I might behave badly. I might give it back to him, but don't judge me for giving it back to him. Judge him, but don't judge me. So 3 hours later, they get there. They get to Longleat. Longleat is actually the first safari park outside of Africa, and they're actually doing good because they're using they're using IVF to help bring back an extinct species of rhino, which is pretty cool. Martha is absolutely in her element with all these animals. Okay, Micah, Margot, and Lottie are staying in a cottage. Missy, Kimmy, and Martha are staying in a cottage, and Mark is alone. He's staying at the Bath Arms pub, which is 2.5 miles away. This place is huge. It's gorgeous, but it's huge. And then they show like the cottages, and it just makes me want to it made me want to live in in an adorable English cottage. They're sweet. They're absolutely adorable. The ladies are talking, and Lottie says, when talking about the ride there, she says, it was nice. Me and Mark and I bonded on the ride over, and it was quite lovely. And the question to Margot is, how are you getting on with Mark? And Margot said, well, he said hi to me when we got here, but that doesn't really mean anything because he's fake. He talks behind my back and he's fake. Once again, like I said, to Americans, we consider his behavior fake. To the Brits, it's just being polite. And Martha asks Kimmy, how's it going with Margot? She says, well, I guess it's okay. I mean, I didn't talk to her and she didn't talk to me. So, I mean, I guess it's okay. Martha is like, please don't be mean to her because I really do love Margot. Lottie is then saying, listen, I talked to Mark, and Mark said, listen, he just has a sense of humor, and everything's not meant to be so deep. Lighten up, get a sense of humor, basically just don't be so sensitive. And even Micah is like, Mark said he doesn't want to hurt anyone. So maybe now that he knows that he's hurting you, he'll stop. I doubt that. I don't see that happening. I don't see Mark changing at all. Margot says she understands British humor because she says, I became an adult in Britain. So I understand British humor. It's just that he's not funny. It's just not funny. It's mean. And Lottie is saying, hey, listen, you just need to stand up to him. If you stand up to Mark, that's going to stop him talking shit on you behind your back. Margot's like, here's the thing, I don't think it will, but Margot's like, no, I'm not going to say that. Margot's basically like, no, thank you. And it's at that point that Lottie's like, I don't know if she wants this for this to end. Maybe she likes the attention. And you know what? Maybe she is doing this for the show, for a storyline. We kind of need a storyline because there's not, the show started it started off very juicy, and it's kind of died down a little bit. So what else? So the ladies and Mark go to lunch. Lottie, on the way there, Lottie's offended kind of that Margot feels alone, because Margot was like, I just feel alone. And she's kind of offended because she's like, we're all physically here. I don't know why she's alone. But I think what she wants for someone to come to her aid and speak up for her and stand up for her when all of that was going on with the verbal accosting of Mark and Kimmy versus Margot. Listen, I'm going to say this. I wish I wish Margot didn't show up like tits first at Longleat, because it's like a very pristine, almost royal environment, and she's showing up. First of all, I thought her on her tank top that she had like, I don't know if it was nipple rings or what it was. I thought it was odd. And then the dress was kind of low cut, and like even Missy was covered up. So I was kind of like, oh, I don't know that is the best thing to wear. So they're waiting. They get to where they're going to be having tea, and everybody's talking. Margot is really hungry, so her and Lottie and a couple other ladies sit at a table. She goes over. Margot goes over and picks up this like 3-tiered tray of like petit fours and little desserts and scones, and puts it on their table, and she just starts eating. And Emma hasn't even started eating. Like, the host hasn't done anything. And I wouldn't do that. So I'm like, okay, so the conversation is either going to be about that, or it's going to be about her visible panty lines, her VPLs. And I'm going to tell you what, though, the one thing that I did take from this episode was that place, Longleat, takes so much to run it. Like, it looks like a massive undertaking. I apologize. I am so stinking hot right now. But it looks like a massive undertaking, because you have the grounds, you have the animals, and it has a lot of moving parts. So mad respect to Emma for being able to handle all of it. And you can see like her love for the animals. And when she says she just wants to leave this place better. She wants to leave it in a better condition for kids and for the people who come next. So you can see her love for the animals and her love for the environment. Okay, so after tea, they do have drinks in the Love Maze, and we find out drinking is like a way of life in England. It seems like it. Martha's talking to Margot, and Martha really is like, listen, what people say about us behind our backs is none of our business. I mean, it seems like, once again, that might be a way of life in England. Lottie and Missy are talking to Mark. Missy does tell Mark that she told Margot that, hey, Mark isn't trying to be mean. Maybe, listen, Mark, maybe you should go talk to her. And Missy pipes in that Margot feels attacked. And Mark basically shuts it down and is like, no, I could never be friends with somebody who has VPL, who has visible panty lines, and who wears a transparent dress to Longleat. It's disgusting. And Missy's like, well, wait a minute, I wear transparent dresses all the time, and you don't say anything about that, and that's okay. And so Missy's like, listen, there has to be something else about Margot that is rubbing him the wrong way, because like she said, she wears transparent clothes all the time, unless it's just the environment, like they're at Longleat, and that's just not something you do. Missy then joins Martha and Margot, and Missy says that Mark doesn't understand what she thinks. Mark doesn't understand what he's doing. He does. He understands. And it turns out he gave a compliment and then talked about her behind her back. That's what she doesn't like. He knows he's doing it. Like, there's no way that he doesn't know he's not doing it. And then he mentioned your visible panty lines, your transparent dress. And this is not a place that you wear that to. She says he does it without thinking. He knows exactly what he's doing. That I don't buy that at all. And then Emma comes over and talks to them, and there's a comment that like, well, Mark says he's gonna stop doing it, and Emma's like, he won't stop. She said he has a very deep side, and no, but he doesn't show it. She basically goes to bat for him. I mean, they're like best friends. She's going to. Margot is up. Emma's like, maybe you should talk to him. And Margot's like, listen, I'm up for having a talk with him. If it'll squash it, then I'm up for it. Martha's like, I'm going to go to the restroom, but I will tell Mark to come over and have a talk with you. And she's like, hey, go talk with the Margot. She's very hurt. And Mark's basically like, well, she'll get over it. And if she doesn't, then it's not my problem. Margot at that point can hear him talking and laughing. And she starts yelling over towards him, which is a very day class A to Mark. He gets up and he leaves, saying it's just not classy, which I agree. She could have just went over and talked to him. Kimmy then starts yelling that Mark did nothing. I don't see why he has to leave. He shouldn't have to leave. You're right. He didn't have to. No one was telling him to leave. He got up and left on his own, which maybe I'm thinking, I wonder if that was kind of like, if her actions was kind of like triggering to him, maybe from when he was bullied in school. So I don't know. And so Kimmy leaves yelling, you're calling Margot a bitch and saying, fuck off, Margot. So that is that. I don't see those two ever being friends or making up. So listen, if you watched, let me know what you thought. I'm going to get ready now for the Pittsburgh Penguins to win game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals against the cross-state rival Philadelphia Flyers. I don't like them. Okay, so listen, if nobody told you yet today, you are loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world so it comes right back at you. Please spread kindness because it is free. Let's be aware of our surroundings, be smart and safe. We're going to hydrate with some water. And if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy your way so you make it through. Love you guys, and I will possibly see you tomorrow. I have to work. Possibly see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye.